The Super Bowl was boring. But if you've been around my channel, then you probably noticed it featured a few of my favorite things. And I'm not talking about raindrops on roses or whiskers on kittens, no. I'm talking about crypto, gambling, and AI. The Super Bowl is one of the biggest things for the world of advertising. Every year, the Super Bowl ads are a big deal, hyped up, and the Super Bowl itself is one of the most watched live events on American television. So of course, you're gonna see a lot of work put into these advertisements for basic consumer goods, the kind of broad appeal advertisements. And those have been a staple of the Super Bowl. And don't get me wrong, they didn't go anywhere this year. You still had your basics like Lay's, Pepsi, beer, of course, football classic. But check this out. This is, I think, a mostly complete list of the Super Bowl ads that ran this year. And you might have already been able to guess, but the ones I highlighted are either for AI technology or were generated, at least in part, by AI. And a little shout out to the blue ones. Those are the gambling apps. And then our one green highlight at the bottom, Coinbase, is for crypto. And you know, I find that interesting because I think that's actually less than previous year's crypto advertisements. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I don't know, it could be a bit of a pattern with these new technologies that are really overhyped and then fail to actually sell to consumers. But I had to throw the crypto in there because this might just be the worst ad of the entire Super Bowl. I saw more than one video of people watching the Super Bowl ad having a visceral reaction to it at the end. So if you haven't seen it, don't worry, you're not missing much. It's basically just supposed to look like a karaoke screen where it's playing Everybody by the Backstreet Boys. But I mean, it's pretty funny, but then you just get Coinbase. And that's the ad. That was the ad. So crypto may be out, but I'll tell you what's in is AI, man. At least half or more of the non-food, non-consumable ads were for AI companies or AI products. Now, I'm sure you understand this, but I just feel it's worth reminding you that a Super Bowl advertisement, and I'm talking just paying to air it on television, costs millions of dollars. That's not even considering all of the production costs that go into making the advertisement. So the natural conclusion, if you're seeing this many advertisements for or relating to AI, is that, well, AI must be extremely profitable. I mean, it must be a money printing machine if they can afford to do all this advertising, build all this hype around these AI tools. Of course, well, that's just not true, actually. AI is what I like to call a fake money printing machine, okay? So it's this thing where you generate hype and you're like, look, AI will be profitable, so give me your investment money and I'll use it to pay for a Super Bowl ad. But the real question to ask is, why even the Super Bowl? Why advertise to, the average consumer? And the answer is basically that they need to manufacture hype. So let's take another detour really quick. Let's check out Meta's advertisement this year.
Hey, Meta. Play my Beast Mode playlist. Okay.
I'm realizing I'm gonna not be able to play much of these advertisements because they're copyrighted music all over the place. But I think you got the point from that snippet. It's actually advertising these new Meta glasses that are a crossover with Oakley. Now, I thought smart glasses were kind of a thing of the past, kind of uncool, kind of dorkish, I'm gonna be honest. Meta just wants to keep pumping these things out, okay? They've got a fascination with these AI glasses. And just a quick look on the Oakley page here will show you that these are basically around the $500 mark. So if I had to take a guess, I don't think these are really the average consumer product. Why do I need these glasses that are $500? What, so I can say, Jarvis, order me a pizza, pronto. I mean, sure, maybe the tech guys out there that somehow think that this stuff is cool, maybe they're gonna buy it. But Dale Davis with a PBR in one hand, a chicken wing in the other, watching the Super Bowl, does not give a rat's ass, okay? I'm just saying it how it is. But they have to keep talking about AI. They have to keep marketing it as this new consumer product. It's gonna be here to stay. It's basically like smartphones. I understand that a lot of these companies are sort of consumer-focused products, much more so than the Meta smart glasses. For example, Google advertising Gemini or OpenAI advertising ChatGPT. I mean, those make sense. Those are quite literally consumer-facing products. But first of all, we know that they aren't exactly profitable at this point in time still. And the changes that would be needed to make them profitable are going to make them most likely much less popular. I'm talking about huge subscription fees just to use the service, and of course the latest development, which is advertisements. Speaking of which, let's check out Anthropic's advertisement, which by the way is the owner of Claude AI. So it starts off with this scrawny guy, looks just like me, who's trying to do a pull-up, and then he asks this guy who's supposed to be ChatGPT, spoiler alert.
Hey, can I get a six-pack quickly?
Perfect. That is a clear and achievable goal.
I love that they even put the M dash in the caption. That's perfect.
Perfect.
And then the ChatGPT says, okay, let me get your personal information, basically. And then he says, all right, I'll make you a plan so that you can get ripped instantly, right? Which is, you know, making fun of kind of the sycophantism of ChatGPT, where it'll be like, yeah, you're the best. You got this. Yeah, you can do it. You can do anything. You're the awesomest. But then where it really comes for ChatGPT's throat is when they make fun of the fact that ads are now going to be integrated into ChatGPT.
But confidence isn't just built in the gym. Try Step Boost Max, the insoles that add 1 vertical inch of height and help short kings stand tall.
And that's where it stops being like me, because I'm a tall guy. I'm a tall king. Don't get it twisted. Check this out. This is somewhat ironic because, of course, it's coming from another AI chatbot company. But look, while I still think that AI and chatbots in particular have their flaws no matter what, I have to say that Anthropic has got to be the best of them all. At least insofar as they pretend to care about the fact that AI and chatbots could be legitimately, let me not even say could be, are legitimately dangerous and harmful to users. And I think this advertisement is frankly a wonderful way to make fun of ChatGPT for their new idea of let's put ads into our chatbot. Which, by the way, let me just go ahead and state very clearly, I think is a horrible idea. ChatGPT or OpenAI put out this article about testing ads in ChatGPT. Ads that support free access and don't change ChatGPT answers. So the goal is to make sure that users can always have free access to use ChatGPT. And this goes back to my previous point. If users have to pay to use ChatGPT, then a lot, and I mean a lot less of them are actually going to do so. And if users stop using ChatGPT, they'll realize that, oh wait, my brain, it still works. I can use my own brain to think. And once people start realizing that, you know, their brains still work, that chatbots aren't necessarily the future and that they don't need them to make every decision for them in their life, these companies are going to start looking a lot less attractive. People are going to stop investing in them so much that hype is going to be dead and the bubble will finally pop. As it stands right now, ChatGPT is just burning through money, offering their service completely free to so many users. So they have to figure out a way to make money, and that's advertisements. Now here you can see a little video example. You'll just see this, I guess, at the bottom, right? From Heirloom Groceries in this case. An embedded link where you can click and then go spend money at some affiliate link. Now let me just ask you a simple question, which is, how would you rate your trust in online advertisements these days? You know, the kind that you get shown on YouTube, for example. How do you feel, how trustworthy, how reputable do you think that those advertisements tend to be? No, not very? Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't think so either. I mean, I felt the same way. I'm glad you said so. Well, if you've been on my channel at all, you know we live in the world of Robot Puppy and Robot Koala and Robot Panda and Tai Chi fitness workout plans. And I think you get the idea, right? It's just endless scams, AI garbage. The advertisement quality has just taken a severe plummet in recent years. And likewise, if you've been on this channel at all, you know that a lot of these really scammy, fraudulent looking storefronts are, very simple websites like lightsdaddy.com. Lightsdaddy.com was a great website I checked out around Christmas time. Okay, it's got all your lighting needs. And look, it's basically just like a dropshipping site. What was Star Patrol Mega Bright Rechargeable Spotlight, as seen on TV. $81, okay? 81, it's a scam for the price. That's what I'll say. Yeah, let's just blind that guy in particular. Yeah, they're right there. Yeah, oh, illuminate him, baby. Anyways, not to get too off track there, but I can only imagine the absolute hellscape that ChatGPT would become with the same kind of links literally popping up embedded right here. And yeah, you can say, look, ChatGPT doesn't influence the answers, whatever. You know, they try to separate sort of the ChatGPT response from the advertisement itself, but I'm sorry, it's just not gonna work. Look, the people who use ChatGPT already, are dependent on it to a scary level. They already are way too reliant on information from ChatGPT. You know, they don't think critically enough about it. They take it like gospel. So now what? Throwing an advertisement right below that, and you're telling me that people aren't gonna do the same thing thing, treat the advertisement as, trusted word of God. And it's even worse knowing that all of this is, already incorporated in this AI environment, because I assume that ChatGPT is essentially making the judgment call of whether an advertisement is relevant or not to the questions you're asking or the conversation that you're having. So now imagine that you're like, I don't know, a 10-year-old asking about Legos, and for whatever reason it's like, let me recommend, I don't know, sex toys. It just sounds like an absolute nightmare. So many opportunities for complete failure with this system. Now shifting back to another AI-related Super Bowl ad, and on the topic of sort of privacy concerns with AI, here is the advertisement from Ring, as in Ring doorbells.
This is Milo. Pets are family, but every year, 10 million go missing. And the way we look for them hasn't changed in years. Until now. One post of a dog's...
So sorry, just knowing already ahead of time that this is gonna be AI related made that so much funnier to me. Man, we've been doing this like the old-fashioned way. Like, I don't know, we post that the dog is missing, and then we hope that somebody might find it. I mean, something about that just feels wrong. Maybe we can like incorporate AI. I don't know, like maybe. Anyways, like the concept seems fine. Basically, we have this app that we can take advantage of to basically help you look for your dog, because our doorbells are always watching stuff. So we can see if our doorbells find your pet. But let's be honest for a second. Do we really think that they did this for any reason other than just to say that they introduced some kind of AI feature into their app? They have to use the classic AI sparkle logo, which I cannot stand at this point. If I see something with that sparkle's ruined for me. It's like an instant turn off now. But this ad actually faced a lot of backlash, and not just for the AI aspect of it, but for the privacy concerns. As per this Mashable article, viewers quickly realized that if Ring can do this for lost dogs, there's no reason it couldn't identify a human face just as easily. Basically, Ring was like, hey, we have the ability, like we just kind of realized this, we can do 1984, like we can do the Peter Thiel surveillance state, we've got cameras on everybody's doorstep, we can just start watching. We can just surveil if we want to. And of course, using it for lost dogs, that sounds great, but, do we trust companies that much to use their technology for good and only for good? Anyways, at this point, you should be feeling sufficiently dystopian. These ads should kind of unsettle you a little bit, right? Good. While we're in that state of mind, let's go ahead and run through some of what I call the true bottom of the barrel AI slop ads. And I mean literally AI slop. Let's check out this one. This is for Svedka, which is an alcohol company, and apparently they had this. Look, this is before my time, I'm not gonna lie, but apparently they had this robot mascot back in the day, and so the whole point of this ad is that the robot mascot is back. But you may quickly notice something, and I mean quickly. Okay, she low-key bad though. Can I say it? She low-key bad. So this is a entirely AI generated ad, except for I guess the text at the end, okay? Is this guy like, is there a dead animal in that pillow that he's beating to death and blood is spurting out? What's happening? I am also noticing, watching this back, it appears that they had to superimpose the Svedka logo, because obviously AI couldn't do it consistently enough without it looking like garbled mess. I can't believe that we are at a point in time where such an expensive ad placement could be taken by a fully, but also at the same time, it's like Coca-Cola's out here making fully AI generated ads. So, but for who? And the answer is for investors, for themselves, for each other, for the circular chain of investment of fake money that's keeping the AI bubble afloat. And speaking of which, let's watch the ad for AI.com, which I bet you've never heard of, because it's new. And it's by like crypto.com, apparently. And I'll just go ahead and cut to the chase. If you go to AI.com, it's nothing. Beta, claim your handle, launch your AI. You have agents, so you own like an AI. It feels like slavery every time I start to think about it. It's like you have your own little bot that you own, and you call it your agent, and it's so weird to me. The whole concept of it is so weird to me. For some reason, I can't find their actual Super Bowl ad anywhere, so here's it on a local news station, I guess.
No celebrities, no product demo, not even an explanation, just a message urging people to reserve their name for an AI platform.
He basically did the talking for me. That's all it was. It was just like, hey, AI.com, I bought the domain. Next, we have Salesforce, whose ad is Mr. Beast.
I just put $1 million inside this vault. And one of you, yes, you watching, will literally win it all.
So basically, it's like a ARG scavenger hunt type of thing. But the ad was run by Salesforce, who, if we check out their website, the usual instant AI flashbang.
See why analysts agree that Salesforce should be your agentic AI partner.
If I hear the words agentic AI, one more time. Anyways, I can tell you're getting a little bored of the AI stuff, so don't worry, we can take a quick break to do some gambling. Here is Fanatics Sportsbook. The basic concept is she's saying that whenever she dates a basketball player, they break up and then that player goes on to suck at basketball. And she's basically saying that you should bet on that. Check it out, this pool, basketball boyfriend, he lost. He lost, and I bet on him losing, so I was able to afford this pool. She does it again with this car, and then finally, it looks like she got a whole plane from gambling. And then we get the classic, I'm so rich. I can promote gambling to people who are gonna use it and to waste their life savings and be even more broke and poor. And meanwhile, I get paid millions to do this ad. Oh, it's so funny. And to me, it's just like, how can this not read as entirely tone deaf? Kendall Jenner flexing her, millions of dollars, claiming that she won it by betting when the average user, at best, maybe breaks even. I struggle to understand it. Last but not least, and certainly not last of the AI ads, I just can't watch them all, here is an ad for GenSpark, which I'm gonna be honest, I'd never even heard of before. That should probably tell you something. Again, it's crazy to me that brands that I've never even heard of before have the kind of money to be spending on Super Bowl ads. But that's what that AI startup money will do for you, man. I tell you what, it's like infinite money glitch. And again, just cutting to the chase, GenSpark is, just another one of these AI, looks emulating ChatGPT right off the get-go. Just kind of do whatever, I guess. It's like you can chat with AI, you can make images, you can make music, you can make video. It's just kind of the all-in-one, let's make slop. Let's get sloppy with it. Here's their ad.
GenSpark, give me the day off. I'm skipping work today.
GenSpark.
Dial in this spreadsheet.
Finish the spreadsheet for me.
Done?
Whoa.
Circle back on out
Wow.
of here.
I'm done. I'm gonna quit my job. Actually, they're gonna fire me because they're gonna lay me off because they think that AI can just replace my job now. So,
Let GenSpark automate your work and take a day off.
to me, I will never see this as a product that's aimed truly for average consumers. The guy flipping burgers at your local diner couldn't care less about GenSpark AI. What's it gonna do? Flip the burgers for him? But then even in the context as presented in this video of like the office, sort of managerial type of job, the white collar stuff, sitting in a cubicle behind a computer all day, I just frankly don't see myself using this product. I mean, yeah, maybe having AI generate me my slideshow that I need to present at my next corporate meeting will save me some time. But first of all, what else am I gonna do with that time? I'm employed to do a job. And second of all, if I'm making a slideshow to present at my next meeting, or God forbid, to present to investors or something, you better believe that I'm gonna be going back and probably changing all of it because whatever AI generated is some garbage nonsense that either doesn't make sense or isn't useful, isn't meaningful to the presentation. The point is, there's only so much these tools are really gonna automate or make your lives easier. They'll certainly automate, but what does automation matter if you have to go back and fix everything yourself? It's talking to you, the worker, who can take the day off now because you've got AI, an agent by your side to do all your work for you now. But by now, I think we should realize not to be so naive. This is an advertisement to the companies, to the management, to the CEOs. They want the companies to buy into this narrative that AI is the future. It's gonna replace all the jobs that, you don't have to pay your workers anymore. That's the future that makes more money for everybody. Except for, of course, you, the worker, the employee, that they're pretending that this advertisement is actually supposed to pander to. So I think that pretty much summarizes my thoughts on the Super Bowl advertisements this year. I've seen people call it dystopian. I don't know if I'd use that word, but it just felt like it wasn't for us. As much as I, as the next guy, find advertising annoying, how much it's infiltrated into every aspect of our lives these days, I have to admit that I have always found the Super Bowl ads to be pretty fun. And I do think it's really interesting to see what these companies come up with to try to connect with their audience on what is basically the biggest marketing stage that they'll ever get. You know, seeing the Doritos Super Bowl ads year after year, and there was like the whole saga with the Planters peanut that like died and then got reborn. And this year, in comparison, just felt nothing like that at all. As with so much of the hype around AI, the AI bubble, it just felt manufactured. It felt like a pissing contest between these different companies about whose AI is better. And in that regard, it felt a lot more like a pitch to investors and big corporations than it did to the average, you know, Joe Schmo with the PBR and the drumstick. And it'll be interesting to see how this trend continues in the future. Is it now just the case that our economy is more about circles of investment between the giant corporations, you know, pooling wealth in the 1%, than it is about, well, actual consumer products? Well, with the AI bubble, that has seemed to be pretty much the case, and I'm not a big fan of it, to say the least. Here's to next year's Super Bowl maybe not having as many AI advertisements. Like I said with crypto, it too had its place in time, a big moment of hype, made it to the Super Bowl in these different advertisements, and now not so popular. Now, certainly AI is quite different than crypto and definitely more significant. I'm not naive enough to pretend that AI won't leave lasting and wild changes on the entire world and just the way we function as a society. But look, we can only hope any day now the AI bubble will pop. Any day now. That's all for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.